if you can find an opportunity to be generous to someone else, you will make yourself happier. So let's start, Sarah, with what is happiness. And there are two different notions of it. Economists talk about the two different notions, and it's really important to understand the distinction, and they're both very important. One is, roughly speaking, your mood. How happy do you feel?
Yep.
And the other is how satisfied you are with your life. And you can see the distinction. I might be very happy with my life, but have a horrible toothache and be extremely unhappy in my mood today. So those are the kind of two. It's really important to distinguish those notions. And the way economists talk about it is simply to ask people how happy they are. And it doesn't sound a very reliable measure, but they say when you compare people's answers, they correlate very heavily with things that you would think would be objective measures of happiness.
Okay,
so
but don't they ask for yesterday because it's a slightly different judgment?
Let's do it. I'm going to ask you questions that get you each of these two different notions of happiness. So the first is the question asked by the World Happiness Report. It's asked in all countries. They rank countries. UK is 29. It's actually slipped down a little bit at the moment. But this is a life satisfaction question. It goes like this. And I want you to answer it, Sarah.
Okay, okay.
Please imagine a ladder with steps numbered from 0 at the bottom to 10 at the top. The top of the ladder represents the best possible life for you. The bottom of the ladder represents the worst life for you. On which step of the ladder would you say you personally feel you stand at this time? So it's basically a 0 to 10 ladder on the best possible life for you or the worst possible life for you.
Well, I think I'd always 8, 9.
See, I think I would be an 8.
There's a danger we're going to sound like smug presenters.
Sort of, we are. Well, the UK average is 6.7.
Right.
It was above 7 about 10 years ago, 2019 actually, it was 7.2. So it has slipped a bit. As I say, we're 29. We were much higher ranked in 2019. But it does go up and down a bit. But that's life satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay.
And I might be in a bad mood today.
But you recognise that overall you're in a...
But life is...
life's good.
The job
broadly.
is okay. I've got a good relationship. The happiness question, this is... The ONS, the Office for National Statistics here, ask a number of questions because they do monitor this. Their happiness question is, overall, how happy did you feel yesterday? That's on a 0 to 10. So one interesting question is there a difference between the sum of all your happinesses day by day and your life satisfaction? And I think they are. I think you can be miserable almost all of the time, but be very satisfied with your life.
Okay, but you mentioned that the UK is 29th. So, and it's really interesting seeing the ones that are at the top of the list. So top of the list, at least this is according to the World...
Always top of the list.
We should explain the World Happiness Report by Gallup. Finland, and that's the one you're saying is always top. Then Iceland, Denmark, Costa Rica...
Costa Rica, I don't understand.
Because we then go back to Sweden, Norway, the Netherlands.
Scandinavian countries are always at the top. And whether it's Finland or Denmark, you can argue about, but the Scandi countries are always top.
If one were heading towards a sort of formula for happiness or well-being, which, it seems crazy that we shouldn't be, then you're starting, one presumes, in that list that you drew up there to consider what might be involved in it. Right. So we start getting to what we know about what lends itself.
Right.
We've got to start with money.
So I think the key one is money. And economists talk a lot about this. And the kind of the global experts on happiness, of which Richard Layard, peer here, an economist, very notable leader of kind of happiness economics in the world, he's always trying to explain to people that money isn't the route to happiness. Personally, Sarah, I think you can overdo that kind of money isn't a route to happiness, because there are lots of things that are routes to happiness that we know. So being generous, volunteering, being able to give to other people definitely makes you feel happy. Everybody also agrees that relative status and income matter, that being a little bit more comfortable than the people around you is a route to happiness. And so I think I would definitely rather be 10% poorer and richer than my friends than 10% richer
but poorer
and poorer than all my social
Okay,
set.
but
so it's complicated, but I think money is a route to being generous. Money is a route to
money is a route
security
to
and
life choices, surely.
to having choice. And I think
so there's
don't underestimate the value of money.
Okay, and there have been studies in the past, haven't there, where they sort of say you need a certain level, but not necessarily much more than that. For just in terms of income.
Well, the most famous finding in all of this was a chap called Easterlin, who found that, well, richer societies are happier than poorer societies, and richer people are happier than poorer people, but societies don't seem to get happier as they get richer. Beyond a certain level, they don't seem to get happier as they get richer. So it's just about our relative standing relative to others. That conclusion has been challenged, but I think there's something in that. Relative status matters, and money matters. It doesn't matter for itself, but it matters for your ability to be generous and to be to have agency and control over your life.
You haven't mentioned something which I always thought was sort of foremost, which is, well, the number of friends you have, the number of social interactions, the number of club memberships, those things that get you communicating with people, because human connection is so important.
That's important, absolutely.
But you could literally put a number on that, couldn't you?
Well, I can't put a number on
No.
it. But I mean, you can put numbers on that.
Economists could sort of.
Yeah, you can basically look at the happiness levels, how they vary with how much social connection people have. And so loneliness is obviously a terrible route to a lack of happiness. People do differ, so we don't want to be too prescriptive about this is what you do and that's what you do to be happy. But if I was a politician
just take a happy pill.
and you were trying to promote happiness, I think the reason why they don't talk about it is they're just skeptical there's much they can do about it. Can they improve people's marriages? Pretty difficult, really, isn't it? If you're a politician, but I think you could be working, or an area to work on would be making sure that there are institutions that people can join or feel they belong to, and there's definitely something has happened in terms of. It's this thesis that we no longer go bowling with other people.
Yes.
We go to church with other people. That we're a little bit more
atomized
homey
society
and a little bit more together. But by and large, we're not that unhappy, and the UK hasn't been particularly unhappy. It has slipped in recent years. The one area, though, I think the World Happiness Report signals issues around younger people, where there seems to have been a decline in happiness, and everyone immediately thinks, is that social media? And they've looked at it and say, there's something going on there.
Yeah.
The people who are really spending time on social media,
and
people
particular types of social media. So it's social connections on social media, I think, is not too problematic necessarily. It's other things.
But it's a really important area, and it is worth, even though there's not maybe a lot you can do about it.
Well, that's the obvious point to get to, isn't it? Because you make the point that, like, why politicians, is no surprise they're not offering it. But are there things that individuals could do?
But the main individual thing is to be generous to other people. That would be my tip. Volunteering, no doubt. If you can find something useful to do, and that's not straightforward. If you can find an opportunity to be generous to someone else, you will make yourself happier.